The Arctic is an unexpectedly startling mirror. It cracks you open and asks you where you belong to. Some people see the Arctic as a wide open space, but when you're up there, you start to realize that you're in one of the most last places on earth where land speaks its truth. And that truth showed me that at one time, I had lost my belonging before I had stepped onto the tundra. One day I went to the river to fly fish, a place that I found my truth, a place that I trusted, a place that has shaped me, and a place that I thought that I can call mine. One day I decided to go and do what I do best 1,000 times and fly fish. And as I fly fish, shots rings out from the banks. I hit the gravel, my heart started pumping, and I started to feel the water brush up against my body. And that's when I knew that somebody does not want me to belong. And in that instant, in that moment, I felt fractured. And that was the day that I lost the trust and I lost my belonging to the river and the world that I thought I knew. I took that loss everywhere that I go. I went north, far north, up there that the land does not appreciate your stories. It does not support your fear and your lived moments. And that was then I had to find my own path to move forward through fear and through my belonging and how to get back to my roots that has waited me. I have lost my armor, and it's one of the things that I have found of the loss of belonging that has misled me, finding myself falling down into a darkness that I found hard to come out of. And then one day, a witch and hunter shared with me a story around a relationship and the land. And this story is around a caribou and an insect. This insect lived in the body of the caribou that lived right between the flesh and the fur. And as the caribou grew older, the insect will travel through the caribou. And one day when the caribou sneezes, a bumblebee comes out. It's kind of hard to believe, but it's something that's very profound and it's real. And as I was working and talking with the witch and hunter and how he explained to me that relationship and how one will only understand and see what that relationship is when you have found your way back to the land that has claimed you. And that story sat with me, and I had to understand what that meant about the land that has claimed you. It's not about just the caribou, even though what I just shared, it's also about a relationship and how nature works and how nature brings that together into a relationship till we all find ourselves once without and once within, and where darkness is, a sparrow will sing. And that's when that sparrow becomes your light to find your way back to the land that has claimed you, to understand where and how that becomes. And we find ourselves rooted into that space. In our relationships and how we move through life and how we move through the outdoors and how we move through our communities, how do we find that relationship to find our path back to the land that claims us? And how do we find our way back that we do belong in the spaces without the fear, but yet welcome the embodiment of where nature in its rawest form can bring us into a whole and supports us on our journey when we move forward. Belonging is all about redefining yourself and overcoming your fears and overcoming what's happened to you that we all have deep inside of us. The Arctic is what stripped me down, and it brought me back up, and it put me back together. But maybe it's not about the Arctic to you, but maybe it's about your own landscape that you can identify, that you can connect with. And however that lands with you is for you to define what that means and how it's going to navigate you in that path back to finding how you fit in that landscape and your belonging to what their land claims you to be.